Don't do the face.
What face?
You went that.
It's just that's because me genuinely trying to.
God, he wasn't even pulling a face.
Oh, hello, mate. All right, check this out. You'll love this. Come on, look. You type in 58,008 into a calculator. Turn it upside down.
It is funny.
Turn it upside down. Boobs. It's worth making it up. All right, mate. Come and check this out. I typed in 58,008. All right, mate. Check this out. I just typed in 50. Fuck me. Sorry, this is absolutely outrageous, guys. We're two absolute professionals.
Okay.
All right, mate. Just check this out. I just typed in 58,008, and amazingly. All right, mate. Just check this out. All right, mate. Just check this out. I just typed in.
Just check this out.
Turn it upside down. Just typed in 58,008. All right, mate. Just check this out.
I can hear you go.
All right, mate. Check this out. I've just typed in 58,008. Turn it upside down. Boobs. Let's just keep going from there.
What you're saying, I think, then, is that the optimism in you, it manifests in that you can see how by following plans, because obviously the FSB has loads of documents and help and advice and all these sort of things and panels and seminars and Zoom meetings. I get sent the emails for those. So in your mind, because you're optimistic, even when you're faced or dealing with someone who's very negative, you're telling me that you can see you can see ways out for people.
Absolutely. I mean, the first thing is, if somebody's really, really negative, and you've got to kind of sometimes just ask them why they're doing it, because negative view is not going to help your business. You're going to go down. Whether you go down because the business doesn't work, whether you go down because you get bad customer service reviews because you're not very happy when you speak to somebody on the telephone, you're not going to get a growth if you're negative. So the whole point is you've got to instill a positivity into that business. You have to. Otherwise,
tell me, are you and Mike, have you got like a side deal going on? Because he introduced your business and you're basically introducing him. And you know what? Oh, go on, Sydney.
Well, the thing for me is I've been on both sides. So I used to be a shop owner with 3 shops and 5 market stores. I used to sponsor boxing events. I used to sponsor Lennox Lewis. I used to do lots of stuff. And then I had a bad business breakdown where I lost a lot of money. So I've been through the negative spirals. And the only way you can get through the negative spiral to build it back up is to change the old mindset and think of the positivity. And if it looks like I'm backing Mike, I am backing Mike because what he says makes a lot of sense.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Not collusion either.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter. The fact you're communicating outside the room brings me joy.
The nature of consciousness, very deep. I'd like to start that conversation with. There's a really good author called Yuval Noah Harari. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's his name. And he's wrote 3 books, I think 2, which I've read, called Homo Sapiens and Homo Deus, which is basically about the history and the future of humankind. Homo Sapiens, which is what us lot are sat on these chairs, developed from monkeys at some point in history. So he comes up with this concept. I'm not going to mention Buddhism or philosophy, but he comes up with this concept that science is now proving that everything is an algorithm, everything is a process. So if we're feeling negative, it's because there's a process in place that's led to us feeling negative. If we're struggling with something, it's because there's a process. If we're feeling great, it's because there's a process. Now, this to some people might sound not good. To others, they might think it sounds great. I'm not as intelligent as the scientist that wrote that. But what's interesting is that if you believe that, which I do, that there's a solution to every single problem that you face. Or if there's not a solution, there's no point in stressing about it because it's not a solvable problem. But I truly believe that every single person on the planet has the capacity to live a very meaningful and happy life. Some of us are more fortunate than others. Many people are born into poverty, into horrible circumstances. But I believe that, those of us that are in more comfortable lives, if we do things the right way, can play our role in not only making our own lives better, but then using that as a force for good to help others. Is that on your topic of consciousness or not?
I think that pretty well sums it up. So Sydney, I think that if one thing can be said for social media, not so much LinkedIn, but certainly the things that are actually popular, is that the way things appear seems to be crucial.
Yeah, definitely. And I think a lot of people, like even I struggle with myself, never praise themselves for what they're doing. And they feel like if they, put out a positive review of themselves or whatever they've done, they feel like it's going to get a negative response because people will think they're bragging and things like that. But actually, when you do post something and people go, well done, that's really good, that can be such a change in mindset, and that can really just like turn your day around. And it can turn their day around as well. A lot of people out there are out there to see and help others succeed. There are some negative people. There's always going to be, but the majority of people will be happy for that individual. Just kind of going off what you guys were saying about like reality, I think a lot of, with regards to sort of happiness in business owners, the struggle I think is there from the media, not so much social media, but as well as like TV shows, films, things like that. It's always based, the cast is either in the office or the cast is either meeting their partners or meeting their friends at their workplace. And those business owners like myself who work alone, I think that doesn't help it makes like a misconstructed association that to be happy, you need to be around people all the time, or you need to have work an environment where you can meet people, but that's not necessarily the case. I don't know if I'm right in saying that, Mike. I might be completely wrong, but it's
different to everyone, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a couple of things I wanted to pick up on that. That's brilliant, because you're right. Well, I say you're right. You're right in my experience. So the last, 14, 16 months, we've been reaching out on Zoom, connecting and talking with people that we would never have met in the normal way, even at networking. And I've found, so all you guys have turned up today, we're all doing this record together. And I think you're right that almost everybody is kind and wants to help and wants people to do well. And actually being just nice. Like, so I wear a visor rather than a mask so that I can smile at people. I love smiling. Manuel, okay, I don't know how much you're prepared to talk about, but you're in Mexico and it's a very different lifestyle. So all the other 4 of the participants were all in the UK. How is reality where you are?
Yes, it's very different, the Latin American culture than in Europe. For instance, in Latin America, the common thing that we have is that we enjoy or try to enjoy life. And specifically in Mexico, you must be heard about how we as a culture in general pay respect to our deaf people, and we make fun out of it. So we, as a Mexican culture, we always try to be happy and try to be the happiest person. Obviously, what is the big issue? As Mike said, health and job. Those are the most biggest risks that we have, and especially in my country, unfortunately, is safety. Safety not only by COVID, safety also by going outside and something happens to you in terms of a robbery or whatever. So in the end, if we take out the negative part of it, the Latin American culture tends to be happier than other cultures because they want to enjoy people. We all, and it happens a lot with me back in my headquarters days with the HSBC, when some people from London came into Mexico and we say, hi, hello, how are you? You give a big hug and they say, whoa, what's happening here?
Yeah.
So